Moving on to the pitch effects. There are three effects on offer. The first is a chorus / flange kind of thing. The second is a phaser, and the third is a pitch shifter. So I'm just going to go back to that slightly slower sound when we start this. All the pitch, delay and the reverb sections take their inputs from one of the other outputs, in fact two of the other outputs in a mix. So this is the pitch input 1, say it's post EQ now, it could be pre-EQ, post EQ, pitch, delay or reverb. So and then pitch input 2 can be any of the same things, and then you can mix between those two inputs with the input mix parameter. So for the pitch, maybe that's not so commonly used, but for the reverb, say, you could have a mix of the dry signal and the delay signal, so they both get some reverb. But for this one, we'll leave it at pre-EQ for all our pitch effects. Let's go through the chorus things first. Pitch blend. So this affects all the pitch effects. It blends the output of the pitch stage between dry and wet. Typically with a chorus, you want a blend of both the dry and the affected sound, because the way you get the chorusing sound is by having pitch offsets between the two things, which give you that kind of shimmery, wobbly sound. For the pitch shifter, you might just want pure pitch shifted output, in which case you would set this appropriately so that it's, the blend works like a lot of the dual mode algorithms do with the delays and stuff. So where minus 100 is pure wet, and then you kind of crossfade through to pure dry at 0, and then from 0 up you've got 100% dry all the time, and then you're adding more of the wet. Like I say, for chorus you want a mix of both, so we'll leave it like that for now. All the pitch effects also are affected by the feedback control, and then for the chorus effects you've got a delay, a speed and a depth and a spread. So let's start some sound and we'll actually hear what all these things do. So let's not start with feedback, let's start with delay. In fact, what we'll need to do first is actually turn it up so we can hear it, because at the moment all we're hearing is the dry signal, of course. So let's turn that all the way down, effects gain to 0, and then we'll turn the delay and the reverb down. So now all we're hearing is the pitch, which is chorus. Okay. So it's feedback, not usually useful with a chorus, but often with a flange. So chorus delay. With these sort of chorus effects, a short time is often more useful for a flange, a nice long time for a chorus. Chorus speed. Slow. Chorus depth. That's a bit extreme. Let's, in fact, I mean, the reason the defaults are defaults is because they actually sound quite nice, so we'll leave it at mostly defaults. But for a flange, a much shorter delay, a much larger depth, and then some feedback. There we go. Now the spread, I'll come back to it, its default is 180. This basically tells it how the two sides, how the two stereo sides are related. At 0, it's effectively mono. You can hear the whole, there's just a mono sound in the mix there. As you increase the spread, it changes the phase difference between the LFOs that are driving the left and right channels. So at 180 they're out of phase. So if you're listening to this in stereo, you should hear that the flanging LFO is opposite and the two stereo signals. There we go. Let's go back to this chorusy sound. Let's just hear this, how this sounds on something else. Got a string preset over on this one. So that's strings, that's the dry sound. And that's our chorus sound. And with the spread, you can hear how you get that pseudo stereo effect going on, which is your classic analog polysynth chorus thing. That's how they get a stereo output from that. So that's chorus. If we change it to phaser, then the things that were the chorus controls are now phaser controls. So we've got a center, a speed, a depth, and a spread, which is, again, that's the stereo thing, so you know what that does. And put some feedback on this. So that's some phasing. Let's go back to our synth. And then the other pitch effect we've got, as discussed, was the, let's just put our feedback to 0. Oops. Pitch shift. Now this works like the dual mode pitch shifter, so it is delay based, so you get a bit of delay going on there. This time we'll put the blend all at -100, so we don't get both for now, and then we'll change the pitch shift. So you've got a semitone shift, a fine tune shift, and a delay which changes the kind of grain size of the pitch shifting. So that's shifted up an octave. If we blend, put the blend back to so that's just a better illustration perhaps of the blend control. So that's all pitch shifted, cross-faded to normal, and then we add in the shifted. And what am And feedback still works in this effect. So you can have it going up here in octaves. So there we go, scary stuff. So that would be a good way to construct a classic shimmer reverb, for example. Have a nice pitch shift and send that off into the reverb. So, those are the available pitch effects, chorus flange, phaser and pitch shift.